All right, welcome to this week's edition of the Business Owners Mastermind Call. My name is John Pyron, the Business Doctor. I've got my co-host, Alan Reeves of Mouse Calls on the line here. Say hi, Alan.
Good day, everybody. Hey, John. Thank you.
Fantastic. Let me do something here real quick. All right, boom, boom, boom. Double check something here. We're going to get started here in just a second here. Just got to verify one thing. The live stream is going. Yep, it's going. Take that off of there. Okay. Right. Okay, so Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Am I not muted? Nope, I'm not muted. Hey.
Nope, unmuted.
I
Just getting back from Mexico.
What's that?
Just getting back from Mexico.
Yeah, a few days ago. I'm actually today probably the first day I don't feel just absolutely. I probably look exhausted still, but I'm not. Don't feel exhausted. Like you go to vacation, you should be rested, right?
Yep. It's awesome. Allie, how you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome stuff. All right, so I know in talking to all of you, there's been a lot of challenges, opportunities, et cetera, over the last 7 days. So I thought maybe today we just talk about different business problems or challenges that we dealt with this week and see if there's anything that we can mastermind on and gain other people's insight or ideas on, and then go from there. How's that sound?
It's great.
Okay. Anybody want to go first?
Dan.
All right, Dan got selected.
I just got here. I just got back from the United States. My business problem is where the hell am I?
So what any particular business problem, challenge you want to go over today? Any opportunity, any idea? What would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about this because this has been kind of going through my head. How to, when you have presented to your customer base a certain product and a certain service at a certain price level, and then you see that you probably need to provide elevated services, how to go about expanding your service offering to cover some things that may not necessarily you might not have thought of, or okay, so in my case, I'm doing websites and I have a very low cost service fee, setup fee going in, and then maintenance fee per month. And I've just tackled a client that they've been a client of mine in the past, but it was all video production based. And they reached out to me shortly before I left for vacation and wanted me to take over the site because the typical thing, they couldn't get anybody to answer their questions. They couldn't get things done. I went to it. There's also things broken on it. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Well, they were clients. So I just went ahead and said, hey, this is the basic package. Well, getting into it, it's a very large site. So I've spent literally the last 4 days doing nothing but working on that site. So it puts it, pennies to the dollar on the hour here where I'm working on it. And it got me thinking, I really do need to, expand that package base. And I think this is probably relevant to a lot of different businesses when you come out there with a certain level of service, and that people come to expect that. How do you go from there to increase that, to expand it? Does that make sense?
All right. So let me make sure I get the question correctly. Is you have existing clients, they're paying you money on a monthly reoccurring retainer for your services, and there's other services that you have identified that they can benefit from, and how do you go about approaching them? Is that correct?
Sure. A little bit different, but yeah. Okay. Same, I have the same issue, so yeah, we'll go for that.
Okay. Did I clarify the issue that you want to talk about, though?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Alan, what would you say to that?
Well, forgive me, Dana, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what it sounds like is you're going in, you're doing an initial evaluation, more or less, presenting them sort of with a scope, maybe what that pricing would be. You engage at that level, and then very quickly discover that maybe there are some things that could be done differently, or maybe something needs more work, or they need to be on a different web server or some such like that. It sounds like during the course of the initial level of engagement, you're finding other things that need to be done, but they don't necessarily fall under the initial scope that you quoted them. Is that what I'm kind of hearing?
Yeah, I mean, because the way I approach it is I don't go in on a project and say evaluate it and bid on it at a certain level. Like I'm trying to be unique in that standpoint and remove, because when you do that, when you're competing with other web designers, they're going to come in, they're going to say 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, whatever that, whatever it is, they're based on the scope of the project. And I don't take on projects that are obviously that level. they're not in my market for that. My market is a small business person who has a fairly basic website. So the price point is the same all the time. It's always going to be $749. It's always going to be $49 a month. And that just takes that whole financial piece of it out of their head, and they don't have to worry about that because it's not an overwhelming piece of, But you're right. Once I get into it, then I see these other things that are happening or could be taken, or not happening, but other holes, other aspects of their business and their site that need to be addressed.
So basically, you've got a very attractive offering in that you're offering, let's just use an analogy here. You're selling a car for a flat rate, and it's a really good deal. Mm-hmm. And then you sell the car, and after you sell the car and you've gotten to kind of know this client a little bit, you suddenly realize that they live out in the sticks and they've got to drive across a creek to get to their house.
Sure.
And so in reality, they really need a four-wheel drive with good torque. And that didn't necessarily fall under that $749 offering. You've got a very good problem here. You've got a very good problem. And I think it's really all about how you package it and how you present it in reality. Because like with us, for example, I saw a need some time ago, like with our VIP plans. We've talked about those a lot. You know what they are. But the problem that we found, and the thing that we discovered, was that local banks started sending people to us who had identity theft issues, or they had allowed somebody onto their computer, and now for all the bank knows, their passwords are compromised. They send the person to us, or they send the business to us to be able to kind of clean it up and make sure everything is nice and tight and shut down. I was absent from the show 3 weeks ago because I was helping a prospect that had been hit with ransomware. I wanted to be able to bundle in identity theft protection along with our VIP offerings, but with that comes a cost. So rather than affiliate with an entity like LifeLock or something like that, LifeLock, by the way, I not to throw them under the bus, but they have personnel outside of the United States. So I couldn't partner with them because of HIPAA compliance reasons. I wasn't comfortable with that. So we built our own. And I don't mean a couple of guys in a garage putting a server together. I mean, we contracted with a company that does this on a very, very high level. And when I say high level, expensive is part of that, yes. But we built that out and said, basically, this is something else we can offer to you to add to that peace of mind. It's another layer. So rather than say, hey, I'm going to be the hero and make you happy at the 749 now, I would almost go in and say, look, I've got a somewhat unique offering in the field. It meets these criteria, which matches 80 to 90% of small businesses' needs. You probably fit this package. However, we have other packages. We have other offerings that may fit your business. And let's take a look at those. And then kind of like a Lego set, I'm going to let you, Mr. Client, decide what's right for you with my input. And then you're presenting it as sort of a cafeteria plan of different offerings instead of getting pigeonholed by what looks like maybe a little bit of bait and switch. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Those are my thoughts on it anyway.
I have a question, John.
So are you also having clients come back to you and go, I thought that was included?
No,
No.
because
Okay, that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
We're talking about you already have them as a client, they're already happy, and you've identified here's other things
right.
that they can benefit from, right? And so how do you approach that? And Alan had some great ideas. I think that's an awesome strategy. Any questions to Alan before I want to get Allie's feedback on this as well?
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Allie, what do you got?
So kind of similar to what Alan was saying, more of you come back. I think once you show your client what holes you're talking about, how it could be different for them, and the value in it for them, it's going to, I think, then take away from, oh, here comes another expense. I think the more that you can actually just explain to them and show them the difference of this is what you have, this is what we can do for you, and this is what the return could be. Right. Then I think you're going to show them the value in just a little bit more investing versus, like Alan said, the bait and switch. And it be more of, we'll work this into your monthly plan and here is how it's going to benefit you. This is the difference, and visually show them the difference. Maybe put it together and just, show it what the difference is going to look like. You can, put it back to the way it was, right. But I think showing your client what the difference is.
Right. It's definitely, I think part of it is I have to define those packages. That's probably the main issue, but it is basically an upsell. Back in the day when I was, 19 years old, I was working at McDonald's, and you always said, would you like fries with that? Right? Because that's your upsell. Mm-hmm. Hey, John, I got a question though. Move this it would move in a little different direction. So if you don't want to go there, I understand. But Alan brought up ransomware, and I think that's a big issue with a big concern with a lot of businesses. I know at one point my son and I had a computer shop, and I had customers come in with laptops that were locked. They were locked with ransomware, and I would just tell them, I'm sorry. You have all of those photos of your kids. Sorry, I can't get them out back. And now it's grown. Now you've got this whole pipeline thing, and I think now everyone's super aware of what's going. This is real. This is a real thing, and it has real consequences. We're paying gas prices now because of something like this has happened. So I just kind of want to get Alan's thoughts on how does a business address that.
Okay, so let's table that question for just a second. Okay. And got Alan's feedback on your original question, Allie's feedback on your original question. The only thing that I would add to it is this, and I just had this conversation with another client about probably 25 minutes ago, and they're a brand new business, and this applies to brand new businesses. It definitely applies to well-established businesses. Is never make the mistake that a contract owns the client. Okay, it's the R in the word contract that owns the client, and that is the relationship aspect. And so the conversation I was having with this individual is the same conversation that I have with a lot of people. Once you have a client, and especially if they're a reoccurring client, they buy from you over and over and over and over again. You want to start looking at, okay, what else does this client need, and what else does this client buy that I can add to my services, which is what in your case is, or what other vendors of mine can I get into that client? And my goal, I learned this back in 2001, is I lost my number one client took away probably 21% of my commission. It was a very painful lesson. And the only reason I lost the client is because I only had my IT services in there. I had all the opportunity to do what I'm talking about right now, but I got lazy with the relationship, and I lost the client, and I deserved to lose the client. Looking back on it, it was painful, and I was pissed. Okay, but what I learned is if I get 6, I found the magic number for me was 6. If I can get 6 other services in there or 6 other vendor partners in there, I pretty much own the relationship at that point. They're not going to. When I had a business partnership breakup in 2011, the only clients Justin was not able to take were the ones I had lots of vendors in there, lots of other services in there. They wouldn't follow him because there's no way in heck he could do what I did. But the ones that I didn't, that I got lazy with, that I only had our IT services in there, man, they were like, I don't care if we got you can't sue us all. You know, and I lost the clients, man. And so you have this reoccurring revenue with your clients. Alan has a massive client base that he has these reoccurring revenue things. And so the conversation is a personal one-on-one business owner to business owner. And, you know, if you were a sales rep, I'd be having a different conversation, but you own the business. And so never lose sight of the fact that you own the business. And when you're talking to your client, they own the business. And so I always like to start off the conversations like, you know what, Joe, you own your business, I own my business. Let me talk to you business owner to business owner. Okay, so I just level the playing ground. I'm not the sales guy. I'm not the vendor. I'm not coming in to try to pitch you stuff. Let's just have a business conversation. You know, and, you know, I do your website. You have a great website, and I do the regular maintenance and so forth, but we've been together for 6 months, a year, whatever. I've discovered there's 2 or 3 other things that we can add that would provide the value to your business. And here's what that means. Here's the problems that you have. Here's the things that will solve those problems. Here's the benefit for you to go on to these services. And the key words are, it's only an extra $99 a month. It's only an extra $49 a month. So there's a magical thing. It's called the second sale. Okay. And the second sale is the easiest sale to do because when you get, you know, in your case, you're going in and you're having a conversation with a business owner. They agree to pay $749 to $795 or $749?
$749.
Okay, so they're paying you $749 to build their site. Then they have to make a commitment for 12 months to pay you $49 to maintain it, and that includes all the ads and changes as long as they're minor, right? And so they're like, oh, man, this is great. Awesome. You get them the contract, you know, they sign it, and you go, hey, you know what? You would also benefit. I've got a friend of mine. His name is Alan Reeves. He owns a company called Mouse Calls. He's got this identity theft protection thing, okay? And, you know, it's only an extra, how much would it be extra a month, Alan?
Oh, just the identity piece? I mean, they could get it as low as $9.99 all the way up to $34.95.
You charge $99. So you would charge Dan $9.99, right? So Dan, you go in and say, hey, for an extra $14.95 a month, or $19.99 a month, why don't we just add that? Oh, yeah, let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. The second sale is the easiest sale to do when you're in the deal in the beginning. So that's number one. Never miss out on the second sale that you can do when you're closing your initial deal. Get the initial deal inked, signed, sealed first. Okay, and I'll give you some advanced training on this. There's like entire modules, right? And so, but once you get the initial deal inked, if you know that there's other services that they would buy, hey, you know what? While we're at it, why don't we just add this on? You see this happen all the time in car sales or home sales. It's like, hey, you know, they get down to the final paperwork and they're like, you know, would you like that Bluetooth, you know, system put in that car? You know, it's only an extra $185. You want me to just add it? Oh, yeah, just add it. You know, you just purchased a $49,000 car. They're like, oh, yeah, just add it. And so they continue to add stuff. And that's how you get that second sale. You'll see it now when you go to click on anybody's email marketing where they want you to go through their sales funnel. You go there, they do a great pitch. Oh my God, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You click on it, you're like, I want it. And so you buy it and you go to check out. What happens? The very next page is, hey, you might be interested in this. It's only $49. Click here. So you click there, then you think you're on the checkout. You think you get ready to check out, right? You hit checkout. Oh, by the way, we have this master class for $297. Do you just want to add that? And I mean, there's some funnels I've just clicked out of. I'm like, I've already bought in 3 other things, but now I don't know where the road ends. So I'm out. And so it's easy to do 1, 2, maybe 2 or 3 second sales at the beginning. But when you're in a situation where you have already an existing client, they're already buying a service, you just have a business owner to business owner conversation with them. It's like, hey, I've been taking care of your website. Everything is going great. There's some other services that I think you would benefit from. Here they are. Here's the problem that they solve. Here's the benefit that they have. Do you want to do it? And most of the time they're going to say yes, because they already have a trust factor with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just negotiated a deal between you and Alan. Alan will send you over an affiliate agreement. Your cost for identity theft protection apparently is $9.95 or $19.95, and then mark that shit up at least $10 per month, and you'll have a cash flow stream.
Mm-hmm.
I just deposited a check yesterday, and it doesn't sound like a lot, $34.95. But I get about 7 of these every month because I referred somebody to Sotellus.
Yeah.
And every month they hit that card on that client for $99. They send me a check for $34.95, and there's no end on that. That's just going to be reoccurring. And you have a review site. You have all these extra added services that I think we're doing our coaching session tomorrow. We'll nail down these services and we'll craft the pitch. But Alan's ideas are great. Allie's ideas are great. But heck, you got a whole nother revenue stream there in upsells. Now, here's the coaching question. I'm not going to put, and I apologize for putting you on the spot. Is this something that you want to do?
Yes. I mean, I recognize opportunities that I want to address.
Okay. So any advice, let me start with Alan. Any advice on, let's say Dan's having a conversation with his client right now.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice on how he should talk to his client, how he should start the conversation and bridge that gap? Alan, why don't you go first?
Well, these things naturally tie together. I mean, honestly, in a technical ecosystem, because one of the value adds that I know Dan brings with his, well, there's several value adds that Dan brings with his hosting, but among them are backup of the site, regular backups of the site, some proprietary security mechanisms. Well, why? Why should a person care about that? Well, this takes me back to 2015, and I was here in my office in West Nashville, my then office at the time, different building, but just down the road. And I don't even remember why, but I needed to look up this local attorney's information. He was in the chamber with me, and I just Googled him, went to his website, and there's his name, and I won't call it out, but on the menu of his website, there's blah, 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 Duncan. Then there's services, about us, contact us, bullet point with some bullet points on the practice, and 2 final menu items, Viagra and Cialis.
That is so common too.
Somebody had hacked the attorney's website and rigged the menu to have items pointing directly to ED medications sold from some illicit overseas market. And it's because the website was insecure and hadn't been patched. So from a professional aspect, part of why they're dealing with Dan is exactly that. They want to make sure that they've got peace of mind. Well, great. That's with a website. What else is technical? Your office. Do you have a firewall in place? Is there anything that's on the network watching for malicious software, or are you just connected to Comcast or Spectrum or AT&T or whoever? Are you connected to the water supply with no water filter? Lord knows what's swimming in that junk. Do you know that your data is backed up? Going back to the ransomware question, that's one way that we differentiated ourselves years ago, was on the VIP plans. We back up every computer that we manage, and you get a daily report telling you that it's backing up. And if it's not, guess who gets a call? We do, to troubleshoot it or see what the problem was. But you're getting somebody that's watching the kitchen. So these things naturally feed into each other. And, then if your networks are secure, well, that's great. Your website's secure. That's great. So what are you doing to protect you and your dependents from identity theft and the losses that can come with that? I had a client sent to me back in February, a local woman here who got duped online by a trick website. She thought she was contacting her cryptocurrency broker support. She was not. She got some yahoos out of Fort Lauderdale that took $270,000 out of her accounts. So, and she had no mechanism in place to protect herself. So they all tie into each other. They all lead to the same path, which is uptime, security, peace of mind. And those all fall in a nutshell. And Dan, this. I mean, we have people all the time. Do you guys do websites? I didn't know if you did websites or not, but we might have a need for that. Can you fix an old website, or what does that look like? So there's always that.
Yeah. No, great idea, Allie. So Dan's sitting there talking to his client. The existing client super duper happy, loves Dan. Dan wants to talk to him about, pick the service. Doesn't really matter what the service is at this point. How would you start that conversation, and how would you lead that conversation?
So for me, I'd want to see what Dan's talking about. I'd want to see an example. And I think it would be huge value to show your customer the difference in what they're paying for, what this is going to get them. Because I think for some people, being able to visually see, that's what we're talking about. This is visual selling mechanism for their client. And so being able to see what they are going to get for this, another investment in their business, I think is huge value. And it's again, establishing that this is value for them, not so much the money that they're having to spend. It's going to be the value of what they're investing in. And so if it was me, I would want to have the example of how this is going to make my website look different, how this is going to possibly help in sales to recover what I'm going to additionally be putting out. So how is this going to help my money in return? Show me that example.
ROI in this.
Yep. They're thinking the same thing you are. How is this going to get funded now? So showing them, okay, this is the difference, and this is how you're going to be able to make a difference. This is how you're going to see a difference. I think that's going to be key is, and then you do it with one client, then you have the example to show there on out, look, this is what it looked like. This is what I can do for him now. And this is how it's changed this customer's business.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. So, like I said, it's just sit down and have a business owner conversation. They're already a client. So you don't really have to sell them on anything. I'd love selling to existing clients because I could just have a conversation with them. I don't have to walk them down a sales process. I don't have to do any of that. I just need to talk to them about them and their business and say, hey, this is going to benefit you. And they already have a know, like, and trust factor with you. So I mean, we have a mutual colleague, and because of it's not out there publicly yet, I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but we gave him this strategy, right? And we said, hey, just go and talk to people about what you're getting ready to do, right? And because he already has a know, like, and trust factor with him, what was his comments? Man, I don't even get in 30 seconds or even a minute into the conversation. They're like,
I want it.
dude, whatever you're gonna do, I'm gonna buy it. So just get me the contract, I'll sign it. They don't even know what the heck they're agreeing to. They can be agreeing to something illegal. They don't really care as long as he's doing it. They want on that bandwagon. And so it's a lesson to all of us business owners. We want that kind of relationship with our client, that we have enough trust, know, like, and trust factor with that client that we can call them up and say, hey, I ran across this new piece of technology. I ran across this new service. Man, I thought of you first. It's going to benefit you dramatically. You know what, Dan? I just save it. I don't even want to hear anymore. Just send me over the paperwork. If you think it's good for me, I'll sign it. Right? And that's what it's like. My own mentor, Grant Cardone. It's like whatever the dude puts out. He's put out all kinds of webinars since 2016 when he started doing them. I have bought in every single one. I've only watched probably a third of them, but I just know it's good. And it's only $49. So I'm like, here's my card. One of these days I'll get around to watching it. But there's such a know, like, and trust factor in the relationship that whatever the dude brings to the table, if it's reasonable, I'm going to be like, I'm all over it. And you have that kind of relationship with your clients. Alan, you have that kind of relationship with your clients. Is they have such a know, like, and trust factor with you. I mean, Allison, this week, she reached out to a friend of hers that owns a winery up in Auburn, and the guy's struggling in getting the winery off the ground. The guy is very well known in the Napa Valley, but not known in the area he's in. He basically wants to create an entire appellation in that area, but he's a winemaker. He doesn't want to. He's like the chiropractor. I don't want to deal with the business side of chiropractic. I didn't go to school for that. I went to school to be a doctor or a chiropractor. I have no clue. And that was this guy, and he sat in our office yesterday, and we're having a conversation with him, and it's like, hey, where do I sign type thing? Now, I mean, he has a couple of objections, but at the end of the day, because of the relationship and the know, like, and trust factor, it was easy for him to sign a big contract. And so I gave a talk on this on Tuesday. The most undervalued prospect that we have as business owners is our existing client. Our existing client is a gold mine for additional revenues. And all we got to do is spend time with them and understand what their business problems are and challenges, go out and find somebody to fit that, and, they'll buy it. It's like we sat here where I'm at right now with a client of mine that's been with me for almost 2 years, and they got married this last October, and we finally were able to get a sit down with him and his new wife to get a revision of the business and include her in the vision and the goals of the business. And we were able to learn, hey, this is what we both want now as a couple. And what's going to be required is a massive project is really what it comes down to. I gotta literally go out and find the right project manager for the deal. He's ready to sign. I already tested the waters. It doesn't matter if it's $15,000, if it's $25,000, he's ready to write the check. And so he's like, yeah, let's do it. Well, now I have no clue You know, like I have 2 or 3 people in mind that could fit the bill, that can do the deal. So I now have a choice. I can either directly refer that person to my client and have them contract directly with my client, or I can look at it and go, this is something I can add to my existing service base. You know, also, this is a person that I want on my team to add value to my other clients. So what I've decided is I'm going to go out and find somebody to do this specific operations project for this company. How much are you going to charge me? Okay. I'm going to mark that shit up and I'm going to sell it to the client. And you know what? They're going to sign. And I keep control of the deal. Okay. Even though I'm not going to deliver any of the service, I'm going to make money on the deal, but I'm going to make sure they take care of my client. Okay. Smaller services, $49 a month. I don't even want to be a part of that administrative nightmare, you know, but there's so many things that you can do for your existing clients. And this applies to everybody on this call and everybody listening to the recording. So many things that you can do for your existing client that you can make a whole lot more money in the next 30 days and spend nothing other than time. Or you can drop $2,500, $3,000 on marketing over this next month, maybe get a 3% return, 5% if you're lucky, right? Like they consider a 3% return in marketing good. You know? They're like, man, if you got 3%, dude, you're freaking kicking butt. You know? But existing clients is where the money is. So has it been helpful? Did we answer all your questions?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm going to mute you real quick. I'm going to go to Alan. Alan, is there any ideas that you would like to bounce off this group, that you would like some opinion about, advice about, any opportunities, challenges, anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple of different things. It's really kind of picking one out of a hat, but here's something, and this is more of an opinion ask. And I know that we've got some Apple users here, so this will apply to you. So we sent out a blast mail yesterday to our client base. 4,200 individuals, businesses, entities, you know. And basically, it was a message about upgrading your iPhone and your Mac computers, because there was a really bad threat found out there where people could use things like the mechanism to control screen sharing and Zoom and all that. Anyway, bad actors could capture screenshots of your Mac and exactly what you were doing and what you were typing and send it back to themselves. They were already doing this when Apple discovered that this was happening. So the bad guys had it first. That's called a 0-day exploit, by the way. So we sent out this blast mail, and we've had a couple of Apple users give us not positive feedback because they believe, or they have been under the impression, that we control everything. We try to do as much as we can. But if you are an Apple user or have ever been an Apple user, you may be aware that on your iMac or MacBook or whatever, they don't push through operating system upgrades. You've got to do that yourself. You have to interact with the computer as an end user and proactively download and install that update. Now, this is kind of where our expertise comes in, because I had this conversation a little bit earlier. We do that a certain way. When we work with a client to do it, we take a look at the age of the computer, if it really needs to be done, if the computer will support it. If it does and they want to do it, then we let them know that it's going to slow it down a little bit, and then we check their backups, time machine backups specifically, so that we can restore in the event something goes wrong. Cut to the chase. At the end of the day, we have clients who again, this is kind of an expectations thing. They want us to handle it. That's our value proposition. We handle it. But sometimes the way technology is engineered, there has to be an interaction on the part of the user, and the user's not comfortable. So how to best get that messaging out there while not undercutting the value of what you're doing for somebody? Yes, we can absolutely help you. Yes, we can hold your hand. Well, that comes into play, sure. But then you've got a tech actively working on the clock with maybe a couple, 3 dozen clients going through this process that maybe wasn't really included in their original scope of work. So the question is similar to Dan's, just in a roundabout way. It's how to set proper expectations, understanding limitations and purposeful engineering of technology while still accentuating the value that you do bring to the table.
Okay. So I am your client. I do have a Mac.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And so I probably got the email. It's probably buried somewhere. You know, who knows? Okay. And so 2 things. Number one, there's tremendous amount of opportunity in the deal. Okay. And anytime, now I'll just share this with everybody on the call, everybody listening to the recording. Anytime you have an excuse or a reason to talk to your client or engage with your client is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Always remember that. So number 2 is what would have been really cool is, because I am a Mac user, okay, I am on your plan. I love your plan, okay? You guys take care of everything. You back up my system constantly. I mean, if I drop this thing in water, it'd be a pain in the ass, but I'd just go buy another Mac, call up your office, create a service ticket. You guys would restore everything. While I go play golf, I'll come back. My shit's going to be set up. Okay? So that's my expectation, and I know you guys can deliver on it. But the one thing I did not know is, and I see it because it comes up on my Mac. It's like, you got an update. You got an update. You got an update. Mm-hmm. And it seems like until I do that freaking update, this computer runs like dog crap. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, man, I don't want to take, do I do the update? Do I not do the update? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do to my shit. Right? So what it would be really cool is an email, a text, phone call, a carrier pigeon, something, right? That says, hey, there's an update that Apple just put out. It's very important that you apply the update. Okay, we looked at the update. It's going to be fine. You're going to be safe. You're on our backup system. You're on our VIP plan. Your system's backed up. You don't have to worry about anything. But you got 2 choices. You can either do the update yourself and click, okay, or in my case, right down here on where's it at? I got a little mouse button on my computer here. Right there. All I got to do is click on this mouse button. Oh, wait, let me actually share my screen because that's actually really cool. So I can go, let's see, I'll share desktop number 1. And so I can go up here to my little thing right here. I can click my little mouse button. The little mouse button here. All right. Apparently tells me about my backup, everything. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's your backup software.
Oh, that's my backup software.
Which, by the way, if we're backing up all that stuff on your desktop that I'm looking at, man, that's probably costing me a lot. Look at all that. My goodness.
Anyways, basically for me, I don't want to figure the crap out. So I just need to create this is even better if you're on like a PC, because it's a lot easier on a PC, because then I can just create a support ticket. But I would just send an email to support@mousecallsonline.com and say, hey, go ahead and update my Mac. I'll leave it plugged in tonight or whatever. And just have you guys go ahead and do it. Because that was I'm glad you brought it up, because it's been coming up for the last 2 days and it's really slowed down my stuff. And so, but an email from you, a text message, and something that says, hey, there's a very important update on your Mac. Do you want us to do it, or do you want us to send you an instruction sheet with a step-by-step process for you to do it? We're good either way.
Well, let me explain to you real quick why Apple does it that way, and because this comes into other people's understanding as well. But if you have a PC from 2004 and you grab yourself a copy of Windows 10, it will probably allow you to install that Windows 10 on that 2004 computer. And it will be the worst computing process you've ever experienced in your life. It'll probably take 10 minutes to boot up. You just don't have any business installing software that's modern on hardware that old. So Apple wants to control the process. Apple has it engineered so that if your Mac is too old to get an update, if it will slow it down too much, if it'll make it a non-Mac-like experience, they're going to shut it down. If you try to download that update, they say, nope, not going to run on this computer. You need to buy a new one. And that's their mechanism. If they allow third parties like us to override that, to manage the patching process, then it's their feeling that the updates will be installed on 10-year-old machines, lead to a bad experience, lead to all kinds of problems. And at the end of the day, they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. But it's a different process from Windows. And people read the blast mails, and many of them go out to Windows users across the board and say, if you're on the VIP plan, don't worry about this. We're pushing the update through. And those Mac users hear that and they go, well, they're doing that for me too. But we can't, because Apple engineered it out. So communication is critical in that regard.
Yeah. So something like a email, a text, a phone call, like I said, it's always a great opportunity to talk to the client. And it's always a good idea to text or email. But like I said, I'm sure I got the email because I'm your client. I'm in the system, right? I get so many emails, it's crazy. So that's why I have a standing thing with existing clients. You send me an email that's important, you got to text me, because I may or may not get to it, right? But this is a good opportunity for you, because it's like there are, like Dan and I researched a guy, I think it was last year. He has this texting platform where you can send text messages out to your clients. There's all kinds of systems out there, but having your clients opt into text message communication does two things. Number one is it allows you to instantly communicate with your client, and almost 100% of text messages are read. Number two is it now becomes a marketing engine for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you have a whole slew of new prospects for this new technology, which is all your Mac users. And you got this story now that you can tell, hey, my client didn't know, we sent them an email, we gave them instructions, they didn't know. So we're implementing this text message communication opt-in here. And you'll get all your clients, a bunch of people opt in, and now that's a whole different marketing strategy from a text message standpoint.
Right.
I just thought that's a great opportunity, actually. And so that would be number one. But number two, in this situation where you got a bunch of Mac users, it's like, hey, education. This is a great opportunity for videos. It's a great opportunity for a blog article, great opportunity for a newsletter, great opportunity for a text message to your existing clients, a snail mail letter. And, there's just a ton of opportunity there for you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Allie, you have any feedback?
Yeah, I mean, I like the text message thing. Like you said, I get text messages all the time from people marketing me, and I will look at them, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to see them. I think that's a good option. I think even just a simple 1-minute video message, and make it to where you get the attention of those Mac users or the iPhone, Apple users out there, and address it directly to them in stating, you know, are you a Mac or Apple user? Important information, you know, whatever it is, to grab their attention. So that way those people who aren't doing it, aren't aware of this, who have these products, you know, will take notice. So I think having just that one big bite of, you know, iPhone, Apple users, Mac users, this is for you type of announcement. And just like I said, education, either it be a text message or it be a video, just a 30-second, 1-minute video of what you're discussing, what you're talking about. And then, you know, if you need more information, please contact us type thing.
Okay.
Video is a great idea. So if and I'll just give this tip for free to everybody that's on the live call and listen recording, is Cloud HQ. If you look up video email via Cloud HQ, I think it's a free service or it's an annual like $65 fee. I wonder if they have an affiliate link. I don't know. But it allows you to embed email or video into your email, and it seamlessly integrates with Outlook, Gmail, and all the major platforms. It's really good. Dan, what type of feedback do you have?
The only thing I can think of that would might be another alternative as well is, you know, it's a great, because it's information is not just for your clients, but it could be for prospects, is it's great medium or great message for social media. So if you put it out on social media, your people that are already following you might get that, but they can also share that out to their friends. And hey, my Aunt Betsy's having this problem with her Mac. Hey, Aunt Betsy, look. So, you know, I think it's valid information, and you're not spamming with it. You know, that's the thing with a lot of social media stuff. It gets real spammy. This is valid, important information.
Yeah, Alan.
Oh, by the way, if you're not managing your iMac, you should get a hold of Mouse Calls.
Well, I mean, if you put something together for social media, I'd definitely share it, you know, on my page, and I would do what I could to, you know, let people know, hey, if you're a Mac user or this is information you need to be aware of. So, you know, just those tidbits of information that you think is valuable, that's going to want them to bite, to actually have to contact you for more information.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, always remember, and this is a good thing to kind of narrow it down, is problems. When our clients have problems, always remember their opportunities. So learned this from Grant a long time ago. It's like problems are opportunities. Problems are opportunities. Most business owners are like, oh my God, I got another freaking problem to deal with. I mean, that's why I sold my IT company. I'm like, if I have to hear another engineer bitch and complain about a client or vice versa, I'm going to slip my wrist. It was a problem. What I didn't realize at the time, had I had the information and the knowledge back then, I wouldn't have sold that company. I'd have taken the problem that I had, and because it was a massive problem, and I would have turned it into a great opportunity. You know, but hindsight's crystal clear. And so always look at the problems that your clients have. They're just huge opportunities for you. So, all right, Allie, anything that problems, challenges, successes, anything that you want to talk about that you can use some feedback from this group on?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still seeing, I was having a conversation with somebody who is a business owner, and we were talking about how they're starting to see more and more like bonuses being offered just to hire somebody to work. And so they're having to compete with, you know, trying to get people just to go to work. And so, you know, I guess for me, it was like, we're trying to figure out, is that where we've come to right now in this market, is you have to offer a bonus to get people to go back to work, you know, to compete with the government, what they're offering. So, you know, I guess just for those business owners out there, you know, is that where the market's going for them? Are they going to have to, you know, put out even more money just to get somebody to consider going to work.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's gotten to back to that point. This was big time in 2000, 2001 during the .com thing. Is we had a talent shortage in a big way, and I'll never forget. People were offering hiring bonuses that were ridiculous, and because that's the only way all the good people are employed. And it's like, and the ones that aren't employed, you got to question yourself: do I even want them on my staff? But employers have to get creative now. There is a huge shortage of workers. There's a massive amount of jobs available that people are not accepting, and so hiring bonuses are a part of the deal. I would definitely have them research what they can do. Any hiring bonus should be predicated on this: you're going to get X amount of dollars upon hire. The rest of the bonus is going to be paid out over 6 months, 12 months. That way they're not just coming on board and then, getting their hiring bonus and then leaving or quitting. And so that would be the feedback that I have. Alan, any feedback for Allie?
Well, I've been on both sides of that equation. Before I entered technology, before I fell into a technology career, which was a combination of luck and timing, I tended bar for 7 years. And if there's such a thing as tending bar on a high level, I kind of did that. I worked across the street from PGA Tour headquarters. And it was a showcase venue, a beautiful place. I got to know many of the executives personally, to a level where the gentleman that ran the World Golf Village asked me to his house for Thanksgiving one year because he knew I didn't have family down there. But through all of that, and we're talking 1990 to 97 here, I made $2.13 an hour, no matter what state I was in. And you're at the mercy of the people that tip you. Now, whether maybe you're in an area like I was, and you could work 4 days a week doing that job and make pretty good money. I lived a block and a half off the beach back then on bartending money. Well, when I moved up here, I realized very quickly that it was nothing like what I had. And it was a culture difference. The customers that I would have come in every day to the downtown bar I worked at wouldn't bother to learn your name. They wouldn't bother to look you in the eye, but they're coming in every day. They just weren't the kind of people that I really wanted to have as customers. And, these are the people who are buying a Maker's Mark Old Fashioned, spending the money for the good high dollar liquor. The drink is $6.50. They're giving you $7 and keep the change. And it is extremely difficult. And it's rough to know. It's rough for me to know as a business owner and to know the different paths of success out there, that for whatever reason, that system, which was in place 30 years ago, is this at the same exact rate that it is right now. And I saw on Facebook just the other day, a woman was complaining because Chili's up the road was closed, and it was because they were having trouble finding people who would work. And it's pointed out. It was pointed out to her that they're paying $2.13 an hour, and there are people who, for whatever reason, when they go out, they like to be high and mighty. They like the idea of people being subservient to them. And I can see both elements of it. Now, there's a whole other aspect. I'm talking about the $2.13 crowd. There's a whole other aspect of this that is absolutely ridiculous and absurd. And people are, people can be spoiled. People can be very entitled. People can have wildly ridiculous expectations, thinking, well, I just graduated college with a 4-year degree in computer science. Therefore, I'm going to start making $250K a year, no matter what I do, wherever I do it. That's out there. And I don't dispute that, and it's laughable, but there is another rung to that as well, and I've been a part of that, and that's why I don't want to forget those people.
Dan. So the original question is, okay, what are your thoughts on hiring bonuses, and how should that conversation happen?
I would look at it from a different perspective, and it really depends on the company, whether that's in their wheelhouse or not. But a $500 bonus is kind of a one-time thing, and once it's done, it's done. I think it's an opportunity for businesses to, at this stage, relook at how they're structuring, how they're hiring, how they're paying, and start including things like benefits, insurance, ownership. And you look at Winco. Winco is a employee-owned company, so to speak, quote unquote, right? I mean, but how do I, as an employee, what do I gain by coming to work? I gain insurance, I gain long-term benefits, I gain, a 401k. Those are the things that maybe you didn't, as an employer, didn't have to do before, right? That's your leisure not to have to do that. Now it becomes something that I know health insurance, for one, is a huge issue with people, because one thing goes wrong and you lose $200,000-$300,000, and there's too many people out there that aren't covered. So that's if within the employer's ability and wheelhouse to actually be able to provide those kind of benefits, I think that would be a better solution than a one-time small bonus.
Feedback. My 2 cents is if you look at it, like, we're in California in a housing crisis. So any house that goes on the market for sale, it's going to get about 15 to 20 offers in about 2 days. And so one of the most creative offers I've seen recently is, okay, we're going to pay $750,000 for this home, and we're going to pay $40,000 over the asking price, or whatever it appraises at. Whichever is higher, that's what we're going to pay. That offer stood out amongst all those other offers and got accepted. So if you think about, okay, we're trying to recruit an employee to our team. What does the employee care about when it comes to switching the job? Well, pay is part of it. Benefits, they probably have medical, dental, et cetera, what Dan was talking about, and they have to switch that over. So you can always go to an employee and go, listen, I want to bring you on staff. I understand that you're going to lose your medical, so why don't we give you a hiring bonus that pretty much pays for your medical for the first 90 days until you're on the company medical plan. But also, here's the expectations we have from you within 6 months, within 1 year. Here's the goals and the milestones we want you to achieve. And if you hit those goals and milestones, these are the bonuses that you're going to receive. And so it becomes more performance-based versus entitle-based. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's just my 2 thoughts on that, and hopefully that helped out. Any other questions about that? Any other clarification from the audience that you need, Dan?
No, I think we're good. Thank you.
Okay. Or Allie. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, guys. Great call. One of the things I will tell the people that masterminded on their business problems or challenges today is send me an email, jpyron@johnpyron.com, with a short little 1 or 2 sentence bio of yourself and your business problem or challenge that you discussed today. And when this video gets finalized on YouTube and all the other marketing that goes along with this, I'm going to put you in there. Make sure you include your website. Make sure you include, how people contact you, so that way I can get you the love that you need. Okay?